Hello, Meoni here, and today we're looking at apartments. Player housing is something that I look for in any good MMORPG. It's something that can do literally nothing but look pretty, and many of us jump at the chance to have a piece of the game ourselves. Placing a mark in Final Fantasy 14 was something you needed a lot of in-game money to do for the longest time, and promoted only large guilds, or in this game free companies, to have, and they had a monopoly on very limited amounts of housing that were available. Housing is instance based in this game, if you didn't know, there being a set amount of houses instanced in a map on an instanced ward. Several wards exist, but this still means there are a very limited number of houses available, and with the prices of the large ones exceeding 80 million gil just for the plot, aside from actual buildings, then there was very little in the way for your average Joe, or in this case Meoni, being able to take part in this part of the game. That was until in a recent-ish patch in the Heavensward expansion, patch 3.4, where Square Enix introduced the apartment system. This is a room-like system in a fixed building in any one of the 3 housing zones available, Uldar, Gridania, and of course Limsa Lominsa. Just like the housing, there is a limited number per ward and a limited number of wards, but that number is 90 apartments per ward, so the accessibility is much less limited, and it is, as you will see in this video, much easier for you to put your feet up and enjoy a cup of cocoa in your own little slice of the game. There are restrictions, however, aside from the 90 per ward that you should know about. Firstly, you must have reached level 50 on a combat class. Secondly, you must have progressed through your Grand Company quests until you're at least rank 2nd Lieutenant in that particular Grand Company, which is gated behind character progression through the Grand Company associated quest lines. Thirdly, each room will cost you a total of 500,000 gil per room. The good news is that apartments are not subject from the demolishment over time rule that applies for inactive housing elsewhere, and apartments are then somewhat permanent. As long as you play the game, you should be fine. Okay, all the boring bits out the way, what can you do inside this housing system? Basically, everything you can in a normal house or mansion that your free company may own. This includes access to chocobo stables outside your apartment building. The stables allow you to feed your chocobo a series of different foods, which can ultimately change its colour. As you may have noticed, my chocobo from other videos is pink due to this very same process. Stables also allow you to train your chocobo every hour with special feeds you can purchase to increase their stats permanently and gain experience points. Stables aside, the housing allows you to build and craft, acquire from bosses and dungeons, even purchase from the auction house items to place in your room, and you can even customize the lighting levels, walls, flooring and ceiling of your apartment. Adding additional walls and shaping it to your heart's desire is left up to you. The sightseeing log, for example, now rewards murals and pictures to place on your walls, or pictures of characters and art from the world of Eorzea can be placed anywhere within your place. Remember, there is a limit, however, of 50 per apartment, so you can't go too wild, so that sort of limits your creativity, but makes it a little bit more interesting. The limits of design are only down to your own capabilities for style and probably your gil as well. That somewhere comes into it, unless you can hardcore farm all of this stuff. You can even purchase plant pots downstairs and grow seeds. You can fertilize them and have flowers which you need to take care of or they wither and die. Some plants can even give rewards of some description from taking care of them for lengthy periods of time and growth. The housing system in Final Fantasy 14, like I say, isn't perfect, but with the limited availability that plagues the older system, apartments are a quick and fancy solution to this problem. In an ideal world, there should be a lot more wards, honestly. But until that day, this is a great solution. The only annoying part is you cannot share this with your friends. Sure, they can come and see the place, but they cannot actually be a tenant in your apartment like they can with other houses. So if you have any close friends or a loved one, they cannot be given permission to live with you or interact with any of your things, which is pretty sad, really. This needs changing. Anyway, this is a quick look at apartments in Final Fantasy 14. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it of some use, and I'll see you next time.